What's up, Facebook? What's up, YouTube, man? If you haven't checked out the new YouTube channel, it is Biker Nation Unfiltered, man. So go check that out. I had a couple people, they asked me, private message me, good stuff like that. Yes, you can private message me at info@Insane Throttle, bikernews.com about my time with the Sutars Soldiers. Yes, that was a few years ago. I was actually with them 2 years. Is a diamond club. Uh, it is started by Rooster Katana, and I did a lot of coverage on Rooster. Rooster is a freaking legend, a legend within the 1% world, man. He was the national for the Pagans until a couple of their people ratted on him, even wires and all that kind of stuff. He was taken down by so called brothers, which is a pretty big, huge problem within the MC scene. Is you have people that are supposed to be brothers. Next thing you know, they're working for the feds, ATF, DEA, FBI, local, state, you name it. They start working for these people because they knew the game, they played the game, they got caught, and then they turn. It's that simple. That's why I always say, don't ever do dirt with somebody in your club. It's just point blank, and there's another video I'll go in about that. But going back to the club, that was one of the main selling points for me was Rooster Katana because I knew things would be done right. I probated, prospected, whatever the hell you want to call it, depending on where you were. Everybody has to. It's not one of these fly by night clubs. You got to put in the time to get your patch and stuff. Uh, the guys up in Wisconsin were great. There was a lot of freaking cool ass guys in the club. It really did feel close. Even though I didn't agree with some of the stuff that was going on, is still a bunch of kick-ass guys, man. I remember going out to Pennsylvania. There was a national and stuff, and I think that had to be the best time I ever had. Even when, before that, when I was with the black and white and stuff, for the international down in Atlanta. We went. It was a quick turn and burn, as we call it. That's kind of what it was. Going out to Pennsylvania and seeing all the guys out there. Being hosted by Rooster. Again, if you haven't known much about him, you to check him out all over the place, man. Dennis Rooster Katana, but he really built a solid freaking crew, man. And one thing about Rooster, he was straight freaking forward with everybody. You're not to do any dirt, or you're going to get your ass thrown out on the street. And you have to understand why he was like that, because here he was a national for the Pagans, and one of his own guys turned him up. And he had to do federal time and stuff. So for the media, where they portray one percenters as criminals and all that bullshit, it was just not the case with the Sutars soldiers. Yeah, stand your freaking ground in a heartbeat, but when it comes to pushing or the illegal crap, none of that happened because it was not allowed. And I think a lot of clubs would be better off if that kind of rule was in place, because you wouldn't have all these damn feds around you. You wouldn't have all these damn freaking, every time you move, these freaking cops are running over you, busting your balls for having a patch, profiling you, and all that kind of stuff. I truly believe that the Sutars were doing it the correct way. I haven't talked to anybody since I left because with me, I have always said, and I have to admit, man, I'm not a good club member. I've said that a million times on my show, and when other people ask me about it, like BD and stuff. I think it's because of where I came from, how I came through the scene as far as the streets were concerned. It was more of a financial type of thing to me, and it always has been. And like I said, they don't approve of the hustling, man, which is a damn good thing. Again, I hold nothing against them for that, but I also had, the street mentality and stuff when, somebody screws around with you, hey, you hit them hard and you hit them fast, and, you keep on hitting them until, they can't get up. But what they built is truly something really good. It's actually funny before I got out, because I'm out there in the public and stuff, and I had people contact me from other clubs that are major one percenters right when I left. Hey, man, are you guys still looking? The probate chapters and stuff. And I sent them on, to where they needed to be because I had nothing to do with that anymore. But it just goes to show you how good of a club it was. But the best time I did was heading and out to Pennsylvania because I never went out there before, and the countryside and all that good stuff was just phenomenal going out there. You go into West Virginia with the mountains and stuff. Everybody gathered. Like I said, it was a turn and burn, man. It was like a 24-hour deal because a lot of us had to get back and get to work. And I got to spend some time with a younger guy on the way out there. And I think that's where everything in the club scene's supposed to be, where you build up a bond with somebody. I still talk to him to this day and stuff, and you get to actually partake in what the scene's supposed to be about. It's not supposed to be going out there and throwing freaking bullets at each other, or this is my turf or that turf. And here you are, you ain't making any damn money any damn way. So what you're doing is you're throwing your life away for freaking nothing. You're not even getting paid. At least if you know what? That's my advice to you guys. If you're getting no money out of this deal, don't put yourself in a position where you're gonna do 25 to freaking life. And if you are doing something, don't be a dime bag freaking ghetto crap and face 20 years for doing some stupid crap thinking you're Al Pacino in Scarface. I- I- that's what I really can't stand about some of the protocol channels. They don't just, you write off the stupidest crap. And I know I've been freaking bad with them lately, but there's no street common sense in there. You're pushing, street type of stuff on people, but you don't even know what the hell you're talking about either. But anyway, going back to that, yes, for the guys that have messaged me about it, I would recommend going out there and finding somebody because they don't advertise on the internet or any of that crap. You actually got to go up, meet them, and go through a process. What I would suggest is hanging around for a while, which you should do with any damn club, is just hang around, get to know people, and you'll know where everything's at after that. But they're real heavy out on East Coast. I really haven't kept up with them. I think they're up in Wisconsin still. So go out, find them where they're hanging out. I know they have open houses at their clubhouses. Uh, and just say, hey, How you doing? You know, you don't have to be intimidated by them and all that kind of stuff. Again, really good group of guys. I had fun while I was there. So it was more see, I'm a honest guy. It was more me than them. When it came to it, they had these, set of strict rules, and here I was, somebody coming up from the '90s and early 2000s with stuff, and just a lot of things didn't make sense to me personally. But hey, man, it's a new age and stuff. Yeah, I got to give my hats off to them and hopefully they're doing well. And if you get with them, man, I think you're going to have a lot of freaking fun, and you're never going to be pushed into something that is going to hurt you or is going to hurt the club or anybody, wearing a patch. You're just not going to be put in that situation because Rooster Katana, man, he learned after that federal shit, man, that anything can go wrong with a supposed brother, and I think everybody the takeaway should be that never do dirt with somebody just because they have the same patch with you, man. And again, we'll go into that on another video, but hopefully that answered your question. Don't forget, man, Facebook. Give us a follow over there, man. We're posting videos over there all the time. This new channel. And of course, don't forget Insane Throttle Biker News. You'll get all your news right there. And I'm trying to keep everything separated. And I think it's better that way. That way, on one channel, I can really speak, where on Insane Throttle, it's a more serious, more professional type of deal that I do over there. And of course, Insane Throttle music, man. Get your playlist. Rock on.
Insane Throttle, your official Google News source for everything biker. Thanks for riding with us. Smash that subscribe button. Check out InsaneThrottleNews.com for the latest updates and join the insanity today.
Insane Throttle Outlaw Rock, featuring Insane Throttle and Defiant Afterlife. Get your playlist full of pure rock and metal. Spotify, YouTube. Subscribe and crank it up.
Now I'm back in the fight.